education and social welfare plans into one huge package aimed at transforming the economy. It would take government spending to its highest level since World War II. Jagruti Dave reports from Washington.
Joe Biden's first budget of his presidency seeks to build upon measures he's already introduced in his $2.3 trillion American Jobs Plan and $1.9 trillion American Families Plan. Trillions of dollars are earmarked towards measures such as pandemic preparedness, combating climate change and investing in research and development. Annual government spending is expected to rise to $8.2 trillion by the end of 2031. Biden's administration says this staggering injection of funds is necessary to allow the United States to compete with other countries, most notably China. It requests a 10% increase in the State Department's budget compared to last year, which a State Department spokesperson said would allow the United States to engage China in the Indo-Pacific and globally from a position of collective strength. Now, the White House predicts that economic growth would fall to 2% or less from 2022 to the end of the decade if the president's proposals are not approved. Now, it plans to pay for the budget by increasing taxes on top earners and on corporations, effectively boosting the middle classes at the expense of the rich. But Republicans are pushing back against the cost of all of this, having already raised debt and inflationary concerns regarding Joe Biden's existing jobs and families proposals. And they're also resisting what they see as unnecessary government overreach, with trillions of dollars going towards social policies such as tackling inequality and expanding health coverage.
And one expert calls President Biden's budget proposal a bold step.
When we think about the budget proposal, this is not so much about fighting COVID, getting us to that finish line. It's about getting us to a better place than February. And if you believe, and I do, that there was a lot of inequality, there were a lot of groups, racial, ethnic minorities, less educated workers that were marginalized from the U.S. labor market, that weren't able to have their full potential. That's who this budget is trying to support. And in particular, there's a lot of investments in children. So to move the needle to create long-run growth, reduce inequality, this takes a lot of money and a lot of good programs. When we think back to after the Great Recession, after the financial crisis, these concerns about the government doing too much, particularly as the recovery went on, they won the day. And fiscal spending actually fell back after the Great Recession. And this is the Democrats believing that they have a lesson to learn and not to stop, to keep spending. And the idea here, the economics of it is, there's not some magic level, debt so big to GDP. We got to be able to finance, we got to be able to pay the interest payments. But we have an opportunity, especially in the United States, to borrow the money and spend it on the country. And it's swinging for the fences for a more prosperous, more productive U.S. economy. It is risky, but people are worth taking a risk on.
And ahead in Asia now, English football fans pounding the streets of Porto. Ahead of the Champions League final, the locals aren't happy campus.
Have fun while breaking a sweat on your next visit to Gangnam. Enjoy the weightlessness of bungee fitness, or learn the health benefits of pole dancing. So don't miss the opportunity to feel the burn with the latest workout trends in Korea. Gangnam Insiders Picks, Sunday on CNA. This program is brought to you by the Gangnam-gu office. This June, Asia's past, present and future comes together. Race to feed the world as scientists, farmers and entrepreneurs solve the impending food crisis. Journalist Yu Maraki unveils the transformation of Japan's social and political identity in Deciphering Japan. and relive the history of the Chinese Communist Party as it marks 100 years of existence. This June on CMA.
So little land with so many mouths to feed.
Land matters. The future is going to be really challenging.
Dan akhirnya dibuang seperti ini dengan mubazir sangat disayangkan sekali.
Ini adalah solusinya.
We can turn Singapore into a protein powerhouse overnight, but people don't understand what we're doing.
Women farmers are the solution for the food security problem.
Race to Feed the World, Monday on CNA.
He's just looking at us with his eyes wide open. Oh, it's so cute.
I'm Shushan, and in this series, I'll be tracking into hidden parts of Singapore.
Oh my God, treacherous.
To find out what's being done to save our biodiversity.
Every animal plays a significant role.
And if we're running out of time.
It seems that there is an uptrend in the number of roadkills.
It's in our nature. Video on demand on CNA.Asia.
Manchester City and Chelsea, two of England's richest football clubs, crossed swords today in the UEFA Champions League final. But the presence of their fans on neutral soil, the Portuguese coastal city of Porto, hasn't been warmly welcomed. And that's because locals aren't happy with the last-minute decision from authorities to relax COVID-19 safety rules. Hundreds of English fans have been packing the city's riverside bars, most of them not wearing masks. British tourists are now allowed in and out of Portugal if they present a negative PCR test. Now, locals are also upset that foreign fans can go into the stadium, but they have been banned from attending matches for months. Only 16,500 fans are allowed into the stadium, but many others have been arriving in Porto to support their teams from the sidelines. Now, the most magical place in the Big Apple is set to open next week, and the world's only official Harry Potter flagship store is gearing up to welcome fans in New York. Dumbledore's Griffin, Fawkes the Phoenix, and more than 50 wands are on display in the 21,000 square foot shop. It also has props from the films and the largest collection of Harry Potter merchandise. Author J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter novels about a boy wizard have sold more than 500 million copies worldwide. It's also been made into blockbuster movies. Executives behind the flagship store say this is the right time to bring in some magic.
Yeah, it's been a really tough year in a lot of people's lives. We have a giant Fawkes the Phoenix hanging over our entrance at Fifth Avenue, and I sometimes see that as a bit of a sign for the store, for a phoenix from the flames. So it's really exciting to be opening this store now. We think it's the right time to do so.
And that's Asia Now for this hour. Headlines anytime at CNE.Asia. Plus, we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Thanks for your company.
Look forward to brighter skies. The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.
The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.
Myanmar opening its doors to the world, but still much work is needed. The journey hasn't been easy, with pressure from within and without. Twists and turns line the way, but even when it's down, this country never stops trying. This is a country that can bank on its people.